Word to the cloud. Okay. Awesome. Well, hey, welcome everybody to our Monday night call. Hope you guys are having a great start to your week. Um, Super fired up that Nikki and Devon took some time out of their busy schedule to join us. But just a couple housekeeping things for right now. Or I guess upcoming events that we have. So all of you guys know at the end of January in Dallas, we have NatCon. As you know, we do the 4 major events per year. Every event that you go to, you're going to get points to. So if you haven't hit Cabo or you're not on track to hit Cabo, if you're somewhat close to it, obviously make a huge push to go out there and get it. There's still plenty of time. We have people that are going to be knocking that out here within the next week, 2 weeks, couple weeks. So go do that. But you're definitely not going to want to miss the 2026 trip. So starting in January, you're going to get full points for we're going to do Thailand. And so that's going to be in Dallas. Tickets are online right now at theallianceevents.com. So next thing, if you are in the Georgia area or within driving distance from Georgia, I know we'll have probably some people that fly in for it. But on November 23rd, I've been wanting to do something with Nick for a while. So in West Georgia, so about 30 minutes west of Atlanta, we're going to do from 10 to 2 a Super Saturday. All the details are on the flyer. But we're going to probably do, Aaron's going to do a segment, I'm going to do a segment, and then the majority of it is going to be Nick talking about annuities, how he's finding them. He's issue paid on his, and Nick, all of us are on his team. So he makes a ton of money in overrides, glow bonuses. He doesn't have to sell a dime if he doesn't want to, but he's issue paid $276,000 this year on his own pin. And I would say probably, 80% of that is from annuities. So he understands the annuity market really, really well. He understands retirement, IULs, and he's going to go into, the leads he's working for that, the type of companies that we write for that, the clients he's getting, all that kind of stuff. And so that's going to be November 23rd, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. It's a free event. Y'all come out there. It's going to be in West Georgia. Aaron's going to be speaking. I'm going to be speaking. We're going to have a bunch of fun, and it's going to be all nuts and bolts, no hype stuff. Y'all know how we do it. We're going to get right into it and go from there. So, again, hope everybody's having a great week. We're going to get this thing rolling. I always tell people, here's what I love about this business. Obviously, the world has been in disarray the last week with the election and all that kind of stuff. Look, no matter when this is one thing I want to say about this. This is what I love about this business. And these are statistics. Over the last, I think it's been 20 years, there's been 10,000 new millionaires created every single day around the country in the United States. So that doesn't matter if Republicans are in office, Democrats are in office. This is an entrepreneur country, and no matter who's running it, you can go, like, a lot of people get so bogged up, and I'm guilty of it myself. Oh, if these people are in, oh, it sucks. If these people, when I came into this business, it was this person in office, and I did really, really well. And when this person comes into office, it's not going to change a thing. I still have to buy leads, call them, close business, get referral. The job doesn't change. So a lot of people are worried about this person or this person. Just, if you can, like, stuff that's out of your control in general, you can't control who's going to be, you can't control who's going to be president after Trump 8 years from now. You can't worry about that kind of stuff. Successful people have already moved on. They're back onto their daily stuff. They're not, spending all day on like they're doing their stuff. Okay. And so that's number one. Like, if you're looking for a helping hand, like, look at the end of your wrist. It's not going to be this president or whatever. It's not going to be that. Like, you are an entrepreneur. You have to take ownership of your own business. So I just want to say, I know it's been a crazy week. A lot of people, the election, all that kind of stuff. Forget all that. Like, you focus on yourself. 2025 is coming around. If you were on track to hit your goals in 2024, great. If not, you can reset and get moving for 2025. And so, again, we got NatCon coming up in Dallas in about 2 months here. And then in the Atlanta area, we're going to have November 23rd from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. with myself, Aaron Wilson, and Nick Greco. So enough of me. I'm super excited about these guys. So we had a bunch of fun. I mean, we've hung out with them in Miami. I don't get to hang out with them as much. I got 2 kids, and even though we live in the same area, we don't live in the same area. Atlanta's way the hell over there. Well, really, they would say I'm way the hell out there. But these guys are great people. They're fun to hang out with. I've loved Devon since day one. He's always been about business, and he's got such a cool. I met Devon first, and then I met Nikki next. And then Nikki ended up getting licensed after. She'll share her story, but Devon was actually licensed with a different company before us. And I remember when I did the Zoom with Dave with Panda, I remember being like, dude, I like that guy. I need to go meet that guy. For where did we meet? At Chick-fil-A? We met where the hell did we meet?
It was Chick-fil-A. Yep, Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A. I was like, anytime I'm really, really busy, but anytime I meet somebody that I really, really like, I want to meet them in person just to feel them out and just get to know them. And I think we also met at somewhere in didn't we go to Gumbo's in Douglasville?
Yeah.
We went to Gumbo's in Douglasville. Get some soul food out there. But anyway, so these guys qualified for the Alaskan trip last year. I think they made right at, I don't know, $50,000 part-time last year. Devon has a really, really good job where he makes 6 figures plus, maybe multiple 6 figures, and really doesn't need the income from this, but is still doing it. So Devon, can you just share, how long you've been with the company, why you like the Alliance, whether it's the people, the lead, whatever the case is, and then, what you've been able to do so far?
Yeah, so Devon and Nikki Fitz here out of Atlanta, as Mike mentioned. And I've been with the Alliance now, I think it's been almost 3 years. So prior to the Alliance, I was with a different organization for about 7 years. I got licensed back in 2017 and got licensed really because I was doing something and still am in a different industry where it made sense to get an insurance license, but also I wanted to be able to build a business and also make part-time income. So yeah, I've been doing this now, like I said, since 2017, have been able to really learn the ropes, be successful. But what I really have liked between this company and my last company is just all the opportunities that exist. My previous company, I was with them for, like I said, I think 4 years, 4 or 5 years before I came to the Alliance. And within the first year of coming to the Alliance, I made more in that year than I did in all of the years I was with that company. And it was simply because of the leadership, the teaching, and then most importantly, having access to leads and never being limited in what I could do with my business.
Yeah, no, for sure. And then Nikki as well. I know y'all do it, together as a team. And I know Devon does stuff more virtually. You do more stuff in person, and we're going to get into that here in a second. But can you just kind of share your story? I mean, you've been watching Devon do insurance for a while, and then you weren't licensed before the Alliance, right?
No.
Okay. So what made you want to get licensed, recently? You know what I mean? Like, why wasn't it before, and then kind of share your story.
Yeah, so I was a teacher and doing the teacher thing, it's not the best. And I used to go to some things with Devon before I was licensed at his other company, and they always ask, "Oh, Nikki, are you going to get licensed?" And I'm like, no way. And then when he came over to the Alliance, he went to his first event, NatCon, and he actually saw the girls and how successful the women specifically in the company was. And he called me right away and was like, "You got to get your license. This is something that you could do." And, I decided to get my license. It took me a while because I was teaching. So studying was tough. But once I got my license, he's like, just, quit your job and go from there.
Yep. And so you've been licensed for how many years?
2.5.
2.5. And then you were on and off doing it mainly part-time, but then recently switched more to like a full-time role.
Yeah, in August I switched to full-time.
Okay, cool. And you haven't done, unlike even though he got licensed in 2017, so he's been doing insurance or sales for a while, but you hadn't done anything like this ever.
No, just the teacher.
You were putting up with those little little rugrats.
Yep. Yeah, so this was night and day from what I was used to, totally.
Well, you actually, working final expense, you are dealing with giant older children on 10 different medications.
Yeah.
You and I share funny pictures of our clients laying on the floor and all kinds of stuff. Anyways, yeah. But if you've ran a many amount of in-home appointments, you know what I'm talking about. But it's definitely it's definitely a very unique business. And here's what I really like about this, you guys. Like, I came from something where I learned a lot of personal development and sales skills there, but I never really made any good money in that business. And then when I came into here, it instantly took off. So there's some people that come in with sales experience, sales background like Devon, and they hit it and they get it. So there's a lot of people that they haven't done anything like that in the past, and you're still going to have your learning curve. You're still going to have a 6 month, 8 month, or whatever. If you've never done anything like this before, it's okay that you don't. A lot of the people that I look up to, or we see them on stage at the events, Bell Krause. I mean, you hear all these stories of people that they made 250 grand the last 60 days. You know what I mean? You can't. I was just talking to Aaron about this. Like, you can't compare yourself to people who have been doing something for 5, 6, 8, 10 years. If you start playing golf, like golf is you're like, I'm going to get into, or pickleball, or whatever you like to do, bowling, it really doesn't matter. And you just start, and then you go compare yourself to someone who's been doing it 2 or 3, 4 days a week for the last 6, 8 years, you're going to be nothing like them. You know what I mean? So all that some of those people have that are making 200, 300, 400, 500,000 a year, $1 million a year in the Alliance, all they have is time and experience on you. And you can get those things by just hanging around and doing what it takes to win. And so this is the last thing I'll share. Then I'll jump into what Devon's doing on a daily basis, and Nikki as well. I heard this from, I don't know if it was Mark or Steven, but someone told me that, and this is what y'all need to get. You always overestimate what you can do in a year, but you'll underestimate what you can do in 5. Like, people think it's going to happen. Like, in year 1, they're going to make 300 grand or $1 million or whatever it is. But the compounding effect of what can happen 2, 3, 4 years from now, when you start getting when you start getting a big book of business, you start having clients that you can rewrite. And, oh, by the way, we wrote all this Wellaby, and now Wellaby doesn't want to sell policies anymore. And we got a bunch of guaranteed issue out there. And now Sika says, oh, we'll take cirrhosis of the liver day 1. You know what I mean? So we're rewriting our clients, and we don't even have to go anywhere. Like, we planted those seeds and ran those appointments, 2, 3 years ago. And then now a new company comes out, or Transamerica takes heart failure as day 1. Everybody that we used to put guaranteed issue, we're making calls and making sales. So, like, if you can hang around long enough to win, like, good things can happen. Plus you're going to get referrals and all that kind of stuff. And the quote was this: of the people, 90% of people quit a business like this. And in insurance, 90% of people quit in the first year. Okay. Just, they don't either work on their communication skills. They don't invest in leads. They don't go to the trainings and learn how to do it, or they suck really, really bad. And they're not like, they don't think it's worth it to get over the sucking. You know what I mean? And this is the same statistics with the gym. The amount of people that buy a gym membership and are still fat is about 90%. You're looking at your boy. I pay monthly. Okay. Just because you get your license doesn't mean you're going to get rich. And just because you join a gym doesn't mean you're going to get jacked like Dan Hoyt or whatever. I don't know. But 90% of the people that join don't make it a year. But of the people that make it a year, 90% of them eventually make 6 figures. Isn't that crazy? Because what ends up happening is they learn you can only suck so bad at final expense for eventually you get it. You learn the reduced paid up, cash value. You learn they got a lapsing. Eventually you learn it once you've run enough appointments. You can't suck that long. Eventually you learn. They've proven it that that you've learned to shoot baskets by your misses, not by the ones you make. So eventually you screw it up long enough, you end up getting good. Okay. And so that's what I would, for people that, like, I know Nikki maybe had some of her struggles at the very, very beginning, and we all still go through our struggles right now, but like, and by the way, what you're doing now has nothing to do with what you're doing a year from now. You could have a totally crap year. You guys have all heard Olga Mathis. She made $9,000 her first year. Okay. This year, year to date, I've looked at their deposits. They've already put over 486 grand in their bank account this year. So she was a luggage handler for American Airlines. So don't ever compare yourself. But that's someone that's been doing it for 7 years. So 8 years or whatever the case is. So Devon, let's get into some how-to stuff. Since you work another job, which by the way, what type of job are you working?
Yeah, so I work my day job. I work in IT, cybersecurity, but then I also am a funeral director as well.
He's doing a lot of stuff. Does the funeral business help you with, which actually I want to get into some of that. I definitely want to get into some of that because I ask you about it every now and again. We'll talk about the preemie policies and all that kind of stuff. So
Mhm.
he's doing stuff on the side. So since he's already doing full-time job and works with the funeral home on the weekends, he's completely virtual. So what type of leads are you working and which ones are you liking? What are you spending per week and what do you find yourself making on a weekly basis or whatever the case might be?
Yeah, so right now, what I'm currently doing are the current client leads, which are part of the President Club. And so those leads are a little bit more expensive. And, with those leads, you got to have a little bit more experience because you're working with people who have gotten insurance from a previous agent at one point in time, and they now have no one to service their policy. So when you're running these type of appointments, you have to kind of walk in knowing, okay, this is what the client has, this is how you need to tailor this conversation to get them to convert that policy from term to whole life or get them out of a horrible whole life policy into something better, things of that nature. So I'm running those leads right now. They're 100% virtual. I get 5 of those a week. Again, they're a little bit more expensive. So I'm spending about 225 to 300 across a variety of them. And I'm right at about 1,000 a month. But with these leads, because of my schedule and the organization that I need, someone dials them for me, they book them, they put them on my calendar, and then I call the client. And I will say that 90%, 95% of the time, they always pick up. And then if they pick up and they can't talk at the moment, I'm able to get them back on the phone. So the whole having a dialer and all of that, I started this year. But prior to that, even last year when I was running current client leads, I was buying them, dialing them myself, and having a good success rate. So current client lead has really been like my bread and butter here. I have supplemented with ethos a little bit here and there, but I really like current client leads because they already understand the value of insurance. And it's just me being able to come in, look at their situation, and put them in something better. And then you get tons of referrals. When I started the new current client lead this past month, where I had the dialer dialing for me, I called one client, and out of that one house, wrote over 5,000 AP. And she's still sending people to me, and they're sending family members to me. So I would say, even with me only getting 5 leads a week, through that program, about 20, 25 a month that I'm running, I still can easily on most months, again, on a very part-time basis, I can still make at least over 3,000 a month part-time.
Sweet. So he's spending 225 a week, which is just under 1,000 a month, but from home on a very part-time basis, making over 3,000 a month. That's awesome. That's
Right.
awesome. And I know
Yep.
he's got renewals and other kind of stuff, coming in and stuff like that. So, and there's going to be ones that you write that are going to end up being huge. I've bought some
Yeah.
current client lead. Some are really really dumb, and you write a little children's bright future policy, and then you're
Yeah.
going to get some that not that that's dumb, but they're you do a lot of work for a smaller paycheck. You know what I mean?
Right.
It feels you're like this is dumb.
Yeah.
Um, but you're also going to do some where they're in a certain situation where you're going to end up doing a policy for 300 or 400 a month, and like that one lead, like you could have gone over the 2 weeks prior, and that one lead makes it up for the whole month. So
Right.
those are really really good. So like ethos leads are really really good. You're typically writing a lot of term policies and stuff like that. If they're healthy enough, you're replacing a lot of like fully underwritten stuff.
Hmm.
um the vertical leads are really really good. I don't know if any of y'all have any of you guys worked verticals yet?
I haven't worked them, no. Mm-mm.
You have. Okay. So okay. Oh no, you haven't.
No, I
Okay.
No,
haven't.
we
So
No.
haven't.
Yeah, I
y'all
haven't.
haven't. Okay.
No.
Those are if people can do vertical. So and obviously you guys are in a groove with doing what you're doing, so don't switch what you're doing. But for those of you guys who are like, what's another really good lead source that I'm new, I don't know my stuff like a Devon or someone like that will. Verticals are final expense leads. They're the highest quality lead that I know about. The only challenge is you have to buy them in batches of 50. So they're 18 a piece. So you got to spend $900. So, but typically you will sell 6 to 7 policies out of the 50, so, and those people are spending between $80 to $200 a month on average is the good thing. So yeah, you're spending $900 a week. If you're at a, 70% commission level, if you write 6,000 in premium, you're going to get about $3,000 off that, or $2,800, whatever the case is. And it depends on if you're writing guaranteed issue, all that kind of stuff. So here's the other thing I want to get to before we get to Nikki. That leads me to my next point. Actually, before I get to that, I like what Devon said. He's getting lots of referrals for that. One of the things that you don't want to do, here's a mistake that a lot of people make, is they become a lead junkie. Okay, you can go on both end of the spectrum. There's people that are they're like, I'll just talk to people I know and network. Okay, that defeats our business model is based on leads. Okay, you should take the lead and see somebody that's really, really good. Is I track how many referrals do I get per lead. And if I make 5 sales and it's like all from leads and I'm not getting it, I'm like, I'm doing something wrong. You know what I mean? The best of the best, like I know Mark and people like that, like they're naturally, and you don't even have to ask for them. You do such a great job. I bet, Devon, you've done such a great job servicing some of these people's policies. People are like, how do you get referrals? I'm like, if you do a good job, they're just like, hey, can you help my sister?
Right.
Like
Yeah.
you don't even have to ask for it. If they don't
Right.
give them to you, you should. But have you gotten plenty of referrals from doing just a really good job and caring about them? And they're just like, hey, can you help my husband? He has a work policy. What do you know
Yeah.
about that? Or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or whatever. So don't be on one end of the spectrum where you're a lead junkie, where you're spending all this and you're just closing it and you go on to the next person. Take the lead. The lead is to get you in front of someone who's thinking about life insurance, but now that's technically a new relationship. Try and go if every lead, instead of you just making 1 sale, you turned it into 2 or 3, your profit margins are through the roof. Because y'all want to know the best leads? Free leads. Free leads. You should take the lead. I mean, y'all know that. I'm talking to the people out there. Take that 1 lead and try and turn it into 2 or 3. If you're only buying leads and getting 1 sale, and you're not getting the husband and the wife, the kids, hey, do your kids have their future tax-free retirement accounts set up yet? Okay. Well, hey, you know how your terms get ready to run up? We need to set something up for your kids. It's dirt cheap now that when they get there, this is what, I'm sure Devon's already doing that with these current clients, is showing them for their kids and their grandkids illustrations for IULs, and boom, you write an IUL, you hook up a family, and because they're so excited about what Devon just taught them about that leads to more referrals that he wouldn't have gotten because he took the extra time to do that. Okay. And when you have those big months, okay, the way that this business is built off of, and this is always what I heard, you can take it, you can leave it, 30%. So if I make $3,000, I take 300. Like if I make $3,000 this week, I take 300. No. That's wrong. That's 10%. If I make $3,000, I'm taking 900. I was just making sure y'all were paying attention. I would always take, as a newer agent, I would take 30%. The better that you get, you can take 10, 15, 20%, but always typically 30%. And reinvest it back into leads, because those leads is what got you that money. The biggest mistake people make, they'll have a great week where they make $2,800 and then they don't buy leads the next week. I'm like, Jesus. And then you blow through that money. Now you got no lead money, and now you can't do anything. You're trying to dial through old leads. You want brand new leads every single week. I don't care if you're working current client leads. I don't care if you're working bang leads, direct mail. You need brand new leads every week. You have a week where you only sit 6 or 7 people, and then you don't buy new leads. Now you're trying to scrounge up. It's new in every batch of new leads. There's a couple lay down sales. You know what I mean? And those give you it gives you like an aura, or like an energy of like, okay, I got my, there's easy ones in every new batch of leads, no matter what the leads you're working. Okay. So don't be on one end of the spectrum where you you buy all these leads and then you're not getting referrals, and then don't be cheap about it and then make money and then not reinvest back into your business. Chick-fil-A, the first thing, if y'all think of how this is how people are. This is how stupid people are. If you go to a Chick-fil-A, they buy lemonade, chicken, bread, all this kind of stuff. They make money on the margins of their product. Okay. I don't know what their margins are. I have no idea what their overhead is. But if y'all went to Chick-fil-A and they were like, oh, we're out of food. We were waiting till customers came and then we were going to order food. You'd be like, are you the dumbest people on the planet? That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard of. That's what people do. The first thing before they even pay themselves is they reinvest back into, because they're like, we just sold 5,000 Chick-fil-A sandwiches today or whatever it is. You know what I mean? So before they even pay themselves, they reinvest it back into the business. So reinvest back into the business, pay yourself, pay your long-term investments, whatever, and then whatever else you can spend on jelly beans, gummy bears. I don't give a damn. You can go to these bougie restaurants like Devon does, but you got to reinvest back in the business. You know, pay yourself, pay your long-term, you know, put a little bit away for taxes every year. We're 1099. You know, just don't blow your seed money. You know, you write a big annuity. Don't go out there and buy a new truck. You know what I mean? All that kind of stuff. Like reinvest it back into leads so you can get more annuity money. So, okay, Devon's doing current clients, Ethos leads. He's spending a few $100 a week, and he's consistently bringing in, you know, a little over 3,000 monthly on a super part-time basis. Already making 6 figures with his job. That's awesome. Okay, Nikki, tell us, like, what are you spending weekly? Are you doing in person? Are you doing virtual? You know, what have you found to be a good groove?
So I'm completely in person. I actually haven't done any virtual. I'm doing Bang Bang and direct mailers, old direct mailers, actually. I'm not getting any new ones. Yeah, completely in person. I'm spending $250 a week on Bang Bang. And then if I need mailers, I'll just call as need be. So really 200 to 300 a week is what I'm spending.
200 to 300 a week. Okay. And typically on your, I know you're going to have weeks where it sucks and you sell 1 or none. I know you're going to have weeks where it's really, really good and you sell 6, but on average, what from those type of leads, because you're getting the 50 for 250, what is your average maybe appointment to sit ratio to sale ratio?
So I'm booking between 15 and 20 a week, and I will sit with about 10 to 12. And from that, obviously depends on the week, but I'm going to write 5 to 6 policies, give or take.
Okay, so that's better than the average person, but you're also better looking than the average person. You know what I mean? That's unfair advantages. Okay. But
I prefer the men.
Huh?
I prefer the men clients.
Them ladies are me. I'm just kidding.
They are.
No.
They are.
Yeah. I prefer the old ladies. You get me in front of Miss Wilma. Oh Lord. But and then yes, the men, they'd rather have you, Janet, Aaron. They'd rather have anybody but me and Devon come over there. Jeez. But yeah, so okay, so you're spending about 250 a week, and on average, like you'll have, sit with 10 or 12. Look, you can book. Here's what I've found out from most people in the alliance from the Bang Bangs. Again, it all depends on your skill. It depends on, are you tying down your leads? Are you, what time did I say I was coming? Whatever, however your tie down is. There's ways where you can get better, but you're always going to have no shows. I've had days where I've booked 6 and sat 6. I've had days where I've booked 6 and sat 1 or none. Or the one I sat was like, oh yeah, can you come back late? Like, I'm like, it's terrible. But over time, you're going to, from the Bang Bangs, I've learned that if you book 15, you'll typically get no-showed maybe 30 to 40%. You know what I mean? Because it's a cheaper lead. The direct mails, you should get no-showed about 25%. So if you book, if they're newer direct mail leads, okay, for whatever reason, if you book 15, you'll sit 12, sell 6 from the direct mail. From the Bang Bangs, if you book 15, you'll sit 7 or 8, sell 3. it ends up being kind of the same now, but you're also spending more to get those direct mail leads. Those are a lot more expensive. It ends up being the same math. Okay. You get more no-shows, but the leads are also cheaper. So you can buy more leads. You know what I mean? So it is what it is. All right, last thing, and we're gonna let this go. Like I said, I wanted to keep it about 30 minutes tonight. So you first, Devon, like what's something that, you know, a new agent that's like brand new, because we got some new people on the call. Like, what's something that you struggled with at the beginning and found a way to overcome, whether it's like booking appointments, your fear of the phone, your fear of a consistent you know, making the dials. Like, what's something that you struggled with and that you overcame, or just something that you wish you would have known when you started insurance?
Yeah, so I think a couple things. When I first started, I was selling to warm market for like 3 to 4 years. So I didn't really know the value of a lead. I didn't really know how to dial. Again, even when I was selling to warm market, I was selling over the phone. So I had to learn the art of even perfecting a sale to a stranger over the phone. So the first thing I think I would say, like to a new agent, some of the things I wish I would have gone back and done way sooner than I did was tie into the lead program here, tie into the training, learn the script, and just do what your upline is telling you to do. Because again, I came here and the first, I would say 6 to 8 months, I was just flipping business from my previous company, putting people into better policies, people that I couldn't get coverage over there, putting them into coverage here. But the minute that I turned on and invested into leads, I saw my business triple. And so I haven't looked back since. So I got the script, I learned it. Even to this day, when I dial now, I still have the script in front of me because you just want that guidance there. And so that's something that I would tell people in the beginning. Don't worry about the money. Just buy the leads and listen to the trainings, call your upline, and the money will come. And the second thing I would say is like for people who are part time, because again, I always stress, even when I'm recruiting or I'm talking to another agent, like I'm super part time. And so the one thing that I will say is like I maximize every moment. So even if like I have an hour in the middle of the day or, you know, I finish work at 4 or 5, I still will make appointments in the evening until 9 p.m. because I have a lot of license on the West Coast. So 9 p.m. there is 6 p.m. here. So I just maximize every moment and I don't fill my calendar and time with like a lot of junk. It's work, working out, and pretty much that's kind of it. So I maximize all my time, which allows me to continue to grow this business and make money and do the things that I like to do. So those would be the two things I would say is, you know, tie into the lead program, listen to your upline, and then just rearrange your schedule, especially if you're trying to do this part-time and you want to make good money. And if you maximize and squeeze all the time out of the hours in the day, you can make it happen.
That's fire. And that's why he's winning. I mean, like I said, I mean, you know, making 50 grand part-time last year and not even needing the money. I mean, that's, you know, there's a lot of people that were full-time and didn't make that, you know what I mean? And didn't have another, like, because they don't manage their time well. Like time management, you can't, I mean, if someone just was staring on the wall, like you had a camera and you just watched how often you scroll on Instagram or you do there, or you do like you do all kinds of bullshit throughout the day that's non-income. There's EPA and NEPA. EPA is income producing activities and NEPA is non-income producing activities. And just like whatever you do, the more. If your bank account's not looking good, you're doing a lot of NEPA. You know what I mean? You need to do more EPA. If you're making a lot of money, you're probably doing a lot of income producing activities. Like I look at some of the people on our team that do really, really well, like and not just on our team, but in the company, they're doing the dials, they're running the appointments, they're doing the income producing activities. They're not worried, they're not watching, they're not, you know, filling their schedule, like you said, with BS stuff that doesn't get them where they want to go. No, that's fire. Okay, Nikki, wrap it up with you. What's one thing that like maybe you struggled with at the beginning or had to overcome and got better at? And what would you tell someone that's like a brand new agent to go out there and kick some ass?
So I was never afraid to invest in the leads. I knew that that was like what I needed to do to be successful. However, I was scared to call the leads. And so I would have bukus and bukus of leads, but I was scared to call them because, like I said, in my previous job, I wasn't, not that the leads are cold calling in any type of way, but I was calling from a school, like a school number, like, whoever picks up the phone knows why I'm calling. And so that was one of my biggest fears. And I'd had tons and tons and tons of leads, but I would call them one time and, that would be that. So as a new agent, you really have to follow the script and call the leads 3 times in a row, like everyone says, because otherwise you're not going to make any money. It doesn't matter how many leads you buy. If you don't work them, you're not going to be successful. So once I was able to get over that fear is really when I was able to increase my business.
Yep. And then getting creative. I mean, even if you're working old leads, like I know you're working some old direct mail leads. Like I found ways to get creative, and it's like, oh, well, you show up to the house and say, hey, this is 2023. That's exactly why they have me following up. The 2025, after the election, the 2025, the new benefits just came out. The insurance companies just repriced their products. My job is just to get them to you. We see that we have you, whatever, you know what I mean? It doesn't matter. Like you make the business is about creating those opportunities. And at the end of the day, what I love about the Alliance is if you can get in front of people, our products beat what our competition's buying. Globe, Lincoln Heritage, they're buying all these BS companies. Like hundreds of millions and billions of dollars are going to all these crappy different insurance companies. They're not crappy. They're just not as good as, okay, I take that back. Some of them are really crappy. Some of them are really, really bad. But if you can't get in front of them, it doesn't matter. That's why we're still, people need that sit down, or they need someone to walk them through what they have. I have a guy, Devon Law, called a lead for me. And I only was trying to replace the Foresters. This is a current client lead. Okay. She called a lead for me. You guys get this. This guy, I'm going to wrap it up with this. But when I was brand new, Eddie Harris. Okay. So this guy's got $100,000 policy that it renews in 2037. He's paying $112 now. He's 63. In 2037, with Foresters, it's going to go from $112 a month to $705 a month. Okay. When he's 70, but he's 75. That's not the worst part. When I first get on the phone with him, he's cold. I'm like, well, okay, well, hey, do we have any other thing outside of this? Yeah, I already got something. I'm good. As the conversation went on and I built more rapport, found out the other company he has is AARP, the other 100,000. The reason he got both the policies is mortgage protection, and he's paying $162 a month for that Globe. I said, hey, let's give them a call and let's see what I didn't have the rapport to get to this guy, to this other policy at the time. But by the time the call went on, we found out that $162 a month at 65 in 2 years is going to go to $236 a month. At age 70, it goes to $342. And at age 75, his $100,000 policy goes to $647 a month. So I'm going to replace the $200,000 with American Amicable for $350 a month. It stays level for the next 20 years. And he's saving thousands and thousands of dollars. And that's how you pick up 4,000 premium. And that's what the new, right. But you don't get that your first 2 weeks. You know what I mean? You don't know the questions to ask. You don't know. You're not confident. I knew exactly what to do in that situation. Just like you would know what to do, right. Nikki. You would know what to do, Devon. And just like those sales are going to come people's way if they stick to the process. And these people, our clients, our leads, this was a lead or an old current client lead. These people are paying on crap policies. They have no idea the policy is going to run out. It's going to go up. And it's our job to dial the leads, get in there, overcome our fear, not be self-conscious, be task-conscious. I always tell people all the time, are you being self-conscious? What will they think about me? What if they don't like me? Blah, blah, blah. Or are you being task-conscious? The task is to do the job. If you're thinking about what will they think about, you're being self-conscious, okay? And you ain't going to make, self-conscious people don't make money. Task-conscious people make money. So, hey, thank y'all both for joining us. And you guys are awesome. Hope to see you guys on the 23rd. I know if not, we'll be hanging out sometime soon. But you guys, you can reach out to Nikki and Devon. They help people not just on their team, but outside of their team. They're great people. They're a blast to hang out with. And then last thing I'll leave you guys with this. I forgot to bring it up on the beginning of the call. I know some of you guys are close to it. The 10K bonus with AIG. Y'all take advantage. I know some people have almost knocked that in. Even if you can just get to the 10 apps, I think is 2,200 or whatever. It's not even halfway through November yet. We can all go out there and get 10 apps with AIG. They pay the highest comp. They do the underwriting before you even put in the banking and the beneficiaries. Okay, they're not that much more priced than Mutual of Omaha. If Mutual of Omaha declines, go right to AIG. There's no reason for you to be writing another carrier. Go get that bonus. Go get that 10K. So Devon, Nikki, appreciate y'all. Keep kicking some ass. And I hope Legacy Life, I hope this helped y'all. And go have a great rest of your week. Have a great rest of your year. And we'll see you guys at the next event. Peace.
Sounds good.
Thank
See you.
you.
Appreciate y'all. See you guys.